everyone, welcome. Today, we are going to focus on one tiny change you can make to your English that will have a massive impact on how natural you sound. So let's just dive right in. Okay, so let's start by painting a picture of a really common situation. I want you to imagine you're sitting in an English class, and your teacher asks a super simple question. The teacher looks right at you and asks, "Who is studying English?" Now, how would you answer that? Just take a second and think about what you would say.
Did you think me study English? Hey, if you did, you are definitely not alone. It's a super common mistake. But the correct way to say it is I study English. I know it seems like such a tiny, insignificant word, but trust me, getting this one right is a huge leap forward.
So why all the fuss over one little word? Well, because it's all about the incredible power of pronouns. You know, getting these right isn't just about passing a grammar test. It's really the key to unlocking that smooth, confident, natural-sounding English we're looking for. So why are pronouns such a game changer? Well, for one, they save you from repeating names over and over and over again. You know, instead of saying Maria likes coffee, so Maria went to the store, your sentences just get way smoother. This, of course, helps you speak more confidently. But most importantly, they make it crystal clear who is doing the action and who is receiving the action. I love this way of thinking about it. Without pronouns, your English can sound kind of clunky and heavy, but when you use them correctly, it just flows like water. That feeling, that smooth, effortless way of speaking, that is exactly what we're going for today. All right, to finally solve this whole me versus I puzzle, we need to meet the two teams of pronouns. You've got your subject pronouns and your object pronouns. Think of them like two sides of a coin. Each one has a very specific job to do. Let's break this down. It's actually pretty simple. Over on the left, you've got the subject pronouns. These are the doers. They perform the action. In I like pizza, who is doing the liking? I am. Simple, right? Now, on the right, we have the object pronouns. These guys are the receivers. The action happens to them. In the teacher helps me, who is receiving the help? Me. That's it. That is the fundamental difference, doing versus receiving. So, how in the world do you know which one to use and when? Well, the great news is, it's not a guessing game. There are two very simple, very clear rules to follow. And here is the magic trick. It all comes down to where the verb is. Rule number 1, subject pronouns, our doers, always come before the verb. I speak, she runs, we study. Rule number 2, object pronouns, the receivers, always come after the verb, or after a preposition like for, with, or to. For example, the teacher knows me, or he bought a gift for her. See? Before and after. That's the main thing to remember. Of course, because it's English, there are always a few little quirks to keep in mind. First, it and you are easy. They look the same whether they're the subject or the object, so that's nice. Second, and this is a non-negotiable, you always capitalize the pronoun I. And here's a big one that even native speakers get wrong sometimes. When you're talking about yourself and someone else, it's more polite to put the other person's name first. So you wouldn't say me and Maria or I and Maria. You'd say Maria and I. Okay, enough of me talking. You know, the absolute best way to make this stuff stick is to actually do it. So now it is your turn to practice. Let's put these rules to the test. You ready? All right, for our first challenge, your job is to replace the noun or nouns with the correct subject pronoun. Remember, these are the doers. Look at these 3 sentences. I'll give you a second to think. So, how'd you do? My sister becomes she. Peter and I turns into we. And the dog is, of course, it. Awesome. See? You're already getting the hang of this. Let's move on to challenge number 2. This time, you're going to replace the noun with the correct object pronoun. Remember, these are the receivers that come after the verb. Take a look. And the answers are, chocolate becomes it. Peter becomes him. And Anna and John, that becomes them. Fantastic work. See how that works? You're already using the rules to make your English sound more polished and efficient. You all did a great job with that. Seriously. Remember that idea about making your English flow like water? Well, practice is what does it. The more you use these pronouns correctly, the more it just becomes second nature. You won't even have to think about it. Keep practicing, keep listening, and you'll get there. Keep up the amazing work.